Hi guys, welcome to the In the Game Room podcast. It's been a while since I've done a video because we are in the Christmas season here. It's about 2 days before Christmas now and things have finally just settled down, but the last month or so has been just crazy here, shipping 20 to 30 orders a day every single day, 7 days a week. So I haven't had any time to do any videos, haven't had any time to work on much hobby stuff. So now is a chance to catch up. There is one small project I've been working on lately. We're not in the game room, obviously, we're out in my shop. The game room itself has sort of been taken over lately. With the business expanding so quickly, I've had to bring in extra staff, and the shop is not very big, so we run out of room real quickly here in the shop. So actually the game room has kind of become a storage facility lately. So I'm not actually able to do any gaming out there right now. So I was looking for a possible interim solution, you know, some way I could still get some gaming done without going out into the game room. So I came up with this idea of having a nice folding table here that I can put away when I'm not using it, so it's not in the way. The problem with the folding table is that if I want to put out, you know, a game mat and some buildings and some vehicles or infantry or whatever and play a quick game, it takes some time to set it up, and then there's the game itself, and then there's, you know, taking it all back down again, because I can't just leave this out here when there's work going on. So it's been kind of inconvenient to do any kind of gaming on this table. We have done some, but it's inconvenient. It just takes up a lot of time, and it, you know, cuts into the day. So I was trying to come up with a way where I can have my stuff set up and leave it set up, but it's not in the way. And obviously there's no place to do that. So I came up with a solution, I think, and you can kind of see it over my head. There's a big piece of wood up here. It's actually a door, and it's suspended from the ceiling, and that comes down. And I'm going to show you how that works. Like most things I do, I kind of overdid it. I over-engineered everything, and I actually included an electric winch that takes it up and down, so it's actually pretty cool. Perhaps a little unnecessary level of complexity, but it's very cool in that it works perfectly, and I'm very happy with it. So let me show you how it works. Up here, I'm not sure if you can see, up in the shadow over here is the electric winch that's up there, and you see this here? This is the control for it. So I just click the down button, and the game board comes down. Now I can unclip all of the cables that are holding it, and what I do with them is just unclip them and then bring them up here and just temporarily hang them there so they're out of the way. I do the same thing with the other end. And now, as you can see, I've got a game board all set up. We don't have any vehicles or any miniatures out, but I certainly could, and just leave them out. And then when I'm all done gaming for the day, or even if I just want to get in a few minutes, I can just hook this back up, grab the controller, and get this straightened out, and up we go. And that's it. Pretty cool, huh? So if you're looking for a way to get a gaming table that you can leave set up and get it out of the way, maybe in your garage or something like that, you can do something like this. You don't have to do the electric motor, of course. You can do, you know, cables that you pull and just tie them off somewhere. One thing I will warn against is if you're using rope, make sure it's not the sort of rope that stretches. When I first tried to do this, I tried it with rope, and I could pull like almost a foot before anything started to move because the rope stretched, and that made me a little uncomfortable with the security of it. So that's when I switched over to the metal cables, the steel wire. But yeah, it's very handy. You'll notice on this end I have one cable that goes out to two, that keeps everything reasonably level when it's going up and down. If I put a lot of weight on one side, it would tip a little bit, but if everything's sort of centered, it keeps everything kind of level. The reason why I did this is you really only want 2 lift points. If you get more than 2 lift points, you know, the raising and the lowering gets a little weird, keeping all the cables the same length and everything. So this just kept the, you know, the sort of the geometry of the cables simpler this way. But like I said, if you put a lot of weight on one side or the other, it will tip. So you got to keep everything kind of balanced. But once it's reasonably balanced, it goes up and down real nice and straight. And that's it. That's my sort of temporary gaming table that I can get out of the way and leave set up. One of the things I like about being able to leave it set up like this is if I just want to come out and try something for just a minute and see how it works, like if I'm playing a game like Bolt Action and there's a special rule that I've never played before, I can just try it out by playing a turn on the board here. If I've never played a certain type of vehicle or used a certain type of weapon and I just want to see how it works and how effective it is and what you can do to defend against it, I can just play a quick turn or two just against myself, and it's real convenient. Where if I had to set up everything on this board, put the buildings out in the terrain, and put all the figures out, try it, and then put all that stuff away and then get rid of this table, I would probably just not do it. And I found lately that that's been the case. I've wanted to do things and said, well, I just don't have time for that, so I just skip it. So having this thing here and, you know, ready to use at any time is going to allow me the freedom to just take a few minutes and play a game if I want. Or I'm going to be teaching one of my employees very soon how to play a game. We'll be able just, you know, at the end of the day, we can just drop this down and like for 15 minutes we can just, you know, play a turn or two and, you know, do that every day for a while until he gets the hang of the game. So that's what I've done. That's my crazy little project. It cost a few bucks, but it's not as bad as you think. Even the electric winch was definitely way under $100. It might have been just over 50 if I remember right, and I thought that was kind of cool considering like a hand winch was, you know, 25, 30 bucks. So just for a few bucks more I got an electric one, so that's kind of cool. The steel cables, the pulleys, all the fittings on the end, they all add up. So I'm probably at about 150 bucks for the entire project. A hollow core door like this costs around 30 or 40 bucks, and that's actually, that and the winch are the two biggest parts. But everything else was pretty reasonable. So there you go. I've babbled on enough. There's my game table for now, and it gets up out of the way and everybody's happy. Thanks a lot for watching, and keep on gaming.